Hi, my name's Anna Ford, and I'm the program director here at New Vocations in Lexington. And for those of you that aren't familiar with our program, New Vocations is the oldest and largest racehorse adoption program in the country. Our mission is to rehab, retrain, and rehome retired racehorses, just like this one. Today we are going to focus on the first part of our mission, which is the rehab side. And we're currently in the Williams barn, which is where we send a lot of our horses that need rehab when they come off the racetrack due to some type of injury. And they get whatever care that they need here in this barn, in this side of the farm, and then they go over to our training side. Today, I'm going to show you around to a couple of the horses that are in the barn, and then we're going to walk outside. For those of you that were with us last month when we visited this barn, we're going to visit some of the horses we saw last month that were on stall rest that are now turned out. So just a quick little note, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them either during the tour or shortly after. So well, let me introduce our first guest here. This is So Fiery, and she is very mouthy for a filly. But she's a good example of the type of horse that we typically get here in the program. She's a daughter of Tonalist, and she actually never made it to her first race, but she ended up injuring herself in training. And you can see her front legs are bandaged. She sustained a small chip in her ankle, actually both ankles. She's going to say hello. Step back, girl. It's basically what we call a P1 chip. It's down here in the ankles, and it's a very common injury that racehorses will have. And it normally happens when they're, really running as fast as they can, and they're basically they sustain a chip fracture. And it's very easy to have surgery, which is what she did yesterday. She went over to Haggard, and Dr. Warner there performed surgery to remove the P1 chip out of her ankle. And now she's going to be on stall rest for about 2 to 3 weeks with some hand walking. And then she'll eventually graduate to going out to our round pins out there. And she'll be over to the training side probably within 2.5 to 3 months. So again, this is So Fiery, and her neighbor, which also had surgery last week for the same type of injury, her name is Dynawyn. They'll both be on the same schedule. And if you want to come in here, Erica, you can show them how when they're on their stall rest, which is kind of like bed rest, it stinks. She has a little window over here that she can visit her buddy Dynawyn. So although we know that stall rest is not something that horses enjoy, it is important here, look at them visiting, it's cute. It's important for them for us to be able to control their exercise, because we don't want her to injure herself any further after we've done all the surgery. Okay, so far we're going to let you go back to your snack over there. So she's a very pretty filly. There'll be a lot of people interested in her just simply because of her look. She's beautiful. And we're not sure exactly what she'll be able to do when she's fully healed, but that'll be what Leandra and her crew across the street decide on. And then we've got her friend here, Dynawyn, who was over at Park Equine, and Dr. Bell performed her surgery last week, so she's a week ahead of So Fiery. Come on, babe. Come show us your pretty face. Come on. And then these two girls will be pretty much on the same program, which will be nice because then they can adjust to turnout together. Obviously, they're on stall rest together. They can visit. They can share stories. They can complain about how they hate being on stall rest between the windows here, and then eventually go out in the paddocks together. So if you tune in next month on this edition, because we visit over here every 5 weeks, you'll get to see these two lovely ladies on their turnout, hopefully. So this is Dynawyn. Okay, Missy, we'll let you guys go. So in this barn, we have a handful of horses that, like we said, are on stall rest. And then we have some of the horses that have graduated out of stall rest go out into the paddocks, which we're going to see. And then at the end of the barn, if you want to span down there, there's about 12 horses currently inside that are turned out all night and then come in all day. And those are all horses that are further along in the rehab process, and we'll be going over to the training side soon. So we'll walk out here and visit some of the guys that are on turnout. Last week we visited with Racehorse Farm's farm manager, Jimmy Boyd, and I bring them up as this side of the farm is part of Racehorse Farm, and the barn that we're in, the Williams barn, is one of the original barns that the farm had when Susan Donaldson purchased it. And Erica's showing some of the guys on the right here are part of Racehorse Farm and the Susan Donaldson Foundation, and they are the permanently retired ones to the right. And this beautiful one is at the water trough. So he'll be here for the rest of his life. But here, the ones on the left are the ones that are in the new Vocations program. And that will not be here for life because we want to find them homes. That is our ultimate goal. And so here, I have to look at my cheat sheet. We have Saratogian and Banga. Saratogian is the bay here. He last raced here locally at Churchill Downs May 16th. And he ended up having a small chip removed from his knee shortly after arriving. And he went on his stall rest and did really, really well with that and is now on turnout with his friend Banga, who also had a surgery, which was a sesamoid fracture, which is a bone way down there behind their ankle. And that was done over at Dr. Bell's at Park Equine. And he's now graduated to being able to get more exercise. And you can see when these guys are moving around, they're moving really, really good, which is what we like to see. He's a pretty gray. Everybody, it's kind of hard probably on camera to see. He might look bay or black, but he's actually going to be gray. And as he gets older, he'll get whiter and whiter. One note on Banga, who's not going to be happy with Saratogian here. He came through the Take the Lead program, which is a partnership that we work with the New York Horsemen's Association. And he came down from New York. His last race was up at Belmont Park in October. Okay, well, let's walk over to see a couple others. So you can see the paddocks are rather large, just enough space for them to move around, get some exercise. If they wanted to run, they could, but they can't get up too much speed, which is what we really want to control them from doing. And so down here, if you joined us last month for our rehab edition, Smiles From Sadie was a filly that was on stall rest, just like the ones that we saw earlier. And she's now graduated to being turned out. Banga's very interested. And you might remember her because she has some really unique markings on her legs, which might be kind of hard to see out here. She also came to us from the Take the Lead program. Here, let's come around this side. I'll stand here and then you show her leg. Look at this unique marking she has on her legs. I don't know who on our team called it the skunk leg, but it kind of does look a little bit from the front like a skunk. And I apologize, I don't know who the little bay is here. But Sadie is well into her rehab time, and she had a little stress fracture on that right leg that has all the fun markings. And she did really well on her stall rest, and now she's very happy to be out, aren't you? Yes, yes. And her goal will be to eventually be out all night and be in during the day, and then she'll be moved over across the street to her training center. Do you have any questions at this point? No? Oh, now turn around. Look, the boys are very interested. Everyone wants to be on camera today. So again, this side of the farm is where we focus on the rehab. You know, horses leaving the racetrack and coming to us, the number one reason is normally due to some type of injury, whether it's a minor strain, to a ligament, to something like what we've seen here with some surgeries, minor surgeries. Either way, these horses are the majority of the ones that we get. Their injuries will heal with time. Some need surgery. And then they'll be able to go on to be great riding horses. So we're really excited to see what they're going to be able to do. So it's always a fun day when they get to move over across the street. Well, if you don't have any questions, there's a couple little updates we wanted to share. I'll stand over here so you can actually watch her. We are part of Horse Country Tours, and we are now doing tours Monday through Saturday. And you can look at our tour options by going to visithorsecountry.com. And we'd love to be able to give you a private tour. There are some different times that we have set up there, but we're trying to accommodate as many people as possible, groups of 10 or less, following all the COVID rules right now. Girls, they're trying to fight for the camera. And let's come over to the boys. So in closing, if you're interested in learning more about our program, you can go to our website at newvocations.org. If you're interested in helping out, there's lots of ways that anybody that's watching can help out. You can join us by liking our social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Obviously, you're watching this. We have a YouTube channel. We're on Twitter. We're also now on TikTok. So anytime that you can like or share or follow any of our information, that helps us help these horses get homes faster. If you're interested in adding another horse to your life, we might be able to help you out with that too. All of our horses that are available on our up for adoption are on our website at newvocations.org. And last but not least, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without the support of private donations. And if you're interested in contributing to our cause, you can also learn more about that on our website. So if there's no questions, then we'll sign off. Next week, we're going to be going over to the training side and focusing on the retraining portion of our mission.